Yeah, I don't put a lot of effort into these videos. In fact, very little. I turn on the phone and just talk. But today I actually have a list of things I want to talk about. I haven't done a video for a while. I've been busy kind of getting prepared for winter here. So I thought I'd do a little catch up. And like I say, I normally just ramble on. And even each one of these topics, I could talk for a long time on each one. But I just want to touch on them. We'll see how that works. Well, like I say, I don't put any effort into these. I don't edit. I mean, I used to, and I still could, but I really, maybe I will sometime. Okay, we'll talk about Ukraine a little bit here. Um, it's funny. I mean, they keep on sending more and more ammunition and weapons there, and all of a sudden they're going to realize what kind of humanitarian crisis they are going to have. Now would be the time, to start calling a halt to this operation and start bringing in humanitarian aid, and not like what they did before. Like back in like 2013, even we were sending in 2014 what we called humanitarian aid, but it wasn't. I mean, they were sending in weapons and contracted snipers. That was the craziest thing where, when this first broke out, I couldn't figure out what in the hell, because there was, when we overthrew the elected government in Ukraine and we got their little pet Nazis working for us, they had sent in snipers. And what was peculiar is they weren't just shooting one side, they were shooting both sides. They weren't there to solve a problem. They were there to just cause chaos, just stir things up as much as they could. So then when these Nazis came in, the idea was, they were going to straighten this all out. They're going to bring peace. Yeah, that worked out well. And even now when they talk peace talks, there's no way, there's no talking to Zelensky. There's nothing ever going to be settled that way, because he really has no say in what goes on. Like we like to claim that he does, but he really doesn't. Anytime he would even kind of open up the topic of peace talks, these Nazis are going to turn on him so quick. Either us are going to, or the UK is going to turn on him. So he's screwed. There's no way he can ever get anything done. He's got to get just gone. That's the only way it's going to work. But trying to talk to him, make a peace settlement with him when, his terms, we're going to take back Crimea. Well, that is never going to happen. And the Donbass, that's all part of Russia now. You can forget that. That isn't. And to argue the point with Zelensky is just a waste of time. It's like when you see somebody getting into a fight, like there's a ventriloquist, and the dummy is saying crazy crap. So people argue with the dummy. Zelensky is just a ventriloquist dummy. There's no point even arguing with him. It's just stupid, just a waste of time. But we always say, it's not up to us. Talk to the dummy. Doesn't work that way. Funny thing, I had seen quite a while ago, I was going to bring this up one time. There was a video that I saw on someplace on the internet, and I can't remember where this was. I have looked and looked, and I can't find it again. It's funny, like when my mom first got started, I got her started with a computer, she had a tendency of everything she was interested in, she'd print it, and the idea is, you don't have to print the internet. But you kind of do have to print the internet because stuff disappears off the internet. Anyway, this video was a silly little thing where, well, not silly, it was a horrible thing, but there's this bear out in the woods doing bear stuff, grubbing around under this stump, finding grubs and whatnot, just being a bear. And so this guy comes up and he's taking a video of this. Oh boy, and he's kind of getting closer to the bear and closer to the bear. And then he starts kind of chuckling. Oh boy, gonna get a selfie with the bear, People do stupid shit like this all the time. You annoy anything, like a badger, a woodchuck, a weasel, anything that you annoy them and they're going to turn on you. Well, this guy, like I say, kind of chuckling, oh man, look at it, he getting closer. And all of a sudden in the camera, you just see nothing but teeth and claws coming. And then the camera goes flying. And then you hear a lot of screaming. And then some gurgling and some bones crunching. There's a metaphor in there. Well, like I said, I looked for that video again, couldn't find it. But that was a tough one. But you don't mess with stuff like that. Okay, now Musk and Twitter. This is an interesting thing because part of this Twitter deal, when he was making this deal, he was with the Starlink in Ukraine, he was threatening to pull that Starlink. Well, that upset us greatly. You got to have that partly because not only are they using it there, but they have big plans for Twitter, or not Twitter, but for Starlink in Iran. We're always trying to stir up some regime change someplace, and the one that we're looking at really closely now is Iran. And in order to do that, you have to have communication for these dissidents, let's say, that we promote through our non-governmental organizations, which are funded by the CIA. But their big scheme now is to put that Starlink system in the hands of these dissidents in Iran. So when Musk was threatening to pull this, they got pretty shook and they started threatening they were going to investigate closely into his deals with this buying Twitter, in part because a large portion of this Twitter deal is funded from money out of Saudi Arabia, and we're kind of down on the Saudis now. So they were threatening to investigate if he didn't leave Starlink up. So he left Starlink up for the Ukrainians, but now they're talking again. They're thinking they better investigate Musk now because he had put a check on the tweet from the White House, bragging how, oh man, Biden is raising your Social Security. Well, it really had nothing to do with him. The only reason it's going up is because of the inflation, and it's key to that. So he put a check on that. So they pulled that tweet down. But I'm really pissed about that because if they can't lie, and if somebody can actually fact check them, they got nothing to say. Because they live on lies. Without the ability to lie, they're done. So they're talking again about doing a little investigating in him. Which, we'll see how this flies. But all them tech companies are, like Google included, they're tied very much into like the CIA and the FBI. These government contracts is where they really make the cash. And they even, like Google, had trouble because a lot of the employees were shook up about the government use of, for espionage of their platform. They were going to threaten to quit and all this stuff. I'm hoping, that maybe Google will come around a little, but I don't know. They're pretty entrenched. But that's the money you make. It's not this stuff. It's those government contracts, and they're all in on that. All right. Okay. This whole deal now, like I say, Google, there's always been a problem. YouTube's been a problem with this. I don't God how many times I got strikes and got videos taken down for talking about this vaccine crap. Anything COVID related. I think they're kind of backing off on that because there's too many facts out there. But I remember a time when I had said, now they're looking for, they want to have a kind of a vaccine amnesty or for all these people. Remember when this was going on, a lot of these people, they were saying, oh, they should just lock all these people up who won't take this vaccine. And, they were going to do everything they could. They were just vicious as could be. And now that their whole theory has fallen apart, now they're all saying, oh, we should just forgive and forget. No, you never forget that. They'll do it again. There needs to be, like a Nuremberg, there needs to be that again. That was a bad deal. But I remember at the time I did a video and I said, that's my belief that the unvaccinated will inherit the earth. Well, I think that one got taken down or I got a strike for it or something, but it's very true. I mean, these people that are all vaccinated up are dropping like flies. It's not a good thing, but you were warned at the time. Everybody was trying to tell you, got to think twice about this stuff. There should be a point in there where some kind of self-defense mechanism kicks in where you think, I don't like the look of this. It's like when you go to a fair and you have these really creepy people running the roller coaster. And you think, this old rickety machine assembled by people just slapped together, run by this freakish looking dude. I ain't getting on that thing. There should be some self-defense mechanism that kicks in. Self-preservation, where you think, no, I'm not going to do that. And that's exactly how I felt on this whole vaccine stuff. But all those people that were saying, oh man, put them on an island, lock them up, these people who won't get vaccinated, that has changed. But now you're supposed to forget and forgive? No way in hell. Never gonna happen. That's exactly the kind of thing you should never forget. Now, yesterday, last couple of days, yesterday, especially, I went into town. Now, with the midterms coming up, they've been keeping the price of gas artificially low by, selling off the petroleum reserve and this sort of thing. This is something that, it's still damn high, but I think I paid like $4.60 a gallon for gas yesterday. I made a trip into the town south of me to stock up, and I got like $300 worth of gas. I filled every vehicle on the yard, and I took my cans down there and filled all my cans because I figure it's going to be a problem, right after the midterms. No matter how this goes, they've got no incentive to keep it low anymore. It's going to go crazy. When he's trying to blame the oil companies. Well, there's a lot of companies that could, for making excess profits. Well, if you're going to look into the oil companies for that, you should start looking into some of these pharmaceutical companies because, man, you talk about your excess profits, but he wants to put a higher tax on these oil companies. Not that they don't deserve it, but pharmaceuticals, man, there's you really need to hit them. And these weapons manufacturers who just keep pouring this stuff into Ukraine, and gloating over all the orders they're getting from other countries and stuff, making huge profits. And a hell of a lot of people are going to die. And at the same time, like now we sent inspectors over, which is going to be a problem. We got boots on the ground in Ukraine to kind of try to track the weapons, because these weapons, and I talked about this when they first started doing this, they're going to end up all over Europe, and they are going to haunt for like 20 years at least. There's going to be terrorist attacks all over Europe. Because this is going to fall apart. When it falls apart, here's all these arms and a lot of disgruntled Nazis. But they find them now all over Europe. And it's only going to get worse. Got a chicken land on the hood. But like I said, I was buying all this gas and antifreeze and assorted lubricants, different hydraulic oil and transmission oil and gear lube, everything. Stocking up because I know now they had trouble on the Mississippi River. A lot of our stuff actually comes up the Mississippi on barges. The river is too low to get all the way here. They have to run like half loads. So there's a problem with supply. This has happened before in years with like antifreeze and stuff. So there's going to be a problem. So like I say, I stocked up on a lot of stuff just to have it on hand, because your value of your dollar only drops day after day. The cost of that stuff only goes up day after day. Now the chicken took a crap on my hood. Well, as I was buying this stuff, I always deal in cash, so I had a lot of $100 bills. And it's funny now, it used to be like when we were kids, if you had a $20 bill, that was a lot of money. But now 20s are nothing. $100 bills is the thing. It's like drug dealers always dealing $100 bills. So I'm dealing with $100 bills, but they are the new 20. Damn stupid chicken. Sitting right here. Just watching. But I think I got it pretty well. I could talk about that damn thing with, I did have it on the list in case I want to talk about, but this is just so damn crazy, that Pelosi thing with that hammer. Damn. People are crazy. And it's so funny. I mean, that's a hard thing to, they're trying to cover this up so bad, but damn, that's just a joke. It's not good somebody gets hit in the head with a hammer, but good God. I don't know. It is California. Crazy damn place. It was funny because even, what was it? Oh, when I bought that trailer that I used for hauling wood, on there, it said not for sale in California, can't be shipped to California because of their, something evidently on this trailer could kill you, cause cancer. California is a funny place. Their rules are funny rules. Well, we'll call it quits. But, like I say, the world is going nuts. And we'll see, maybe it'll get better after the midterms. I don't see how it possibly can change much. They have got this so incredibly boogered up. I can't see any easy out of this. But now they got to put a stop to it, because this in Ukraine is going to be a humanitarian crisis out of all proportion. It's just going to be so damn bad. And they're saying, yeah, send blankets and whatnot, generators. But you send that stuff, it's going to end up in the military hands. It isn't going to get to the people. The people are going to be dying. All because we had to chum up to them. Nothing like a regime change. But we don't quit. This is something we're really into. But I think after the midterms, I think they're going to have to get rid of Biden because he's just out of it. Harris will get in, they'll have to get rid of her. It's going to be a long haul to try to get back to be in a position where we can even think about trying to straighten stuff out. I mean, you got all these obstacles that they have put in the way. Got to get rid of them first. Then start coming up with some solution to these problems. But I don't know. I'm in good shape. I got everything stored up. I am going to bury the carrots today. Some. I always keep some for use now and then some that I can have in spring. Same with potatoes. I got to bury some for seed potatoes. But I'm set up really good. But I do feel sorry for the ordinary people in Ukraine. They are going to take a beating on this. Well, all of Europe and the UK. They'll come here eventually. If we can't get this stuff straightened out, we're going to get it too. But damn. We take a bad road and don't have the sense to turn around. But at least, the midterms will be a starting point. But it's unbelievable what somebody can do in 2 years, how much damage they could do to civilization in general. It's a hell of a mess. Well, I got wood to cut. I make a point of cutting at least one load every day. I can get a couple loads in, and I got to wash clothes, and I'm tumbling some brass at the same time, so I got to reload. And I think deer hunting starts tomorrow. So then things get a little hectic. What with people coming and going. Not so much here, but I mean everywhere. I mean they're all over. And I got to do some road work again, and I know that's going to be a problem because you get a lot of road hunters that just drive up and down the roads, wait for a deer to show themselves. And they are a nuisance. I hate pulling over for them. And they'll go around the section line, and just keep circling, trying to. Plus, it's always a little nerve-wracking when they're taking wild shots out in the open. I don't particularly care for being out on the road at that time. But it won't last, 2 weeks? Then things can go back to normal. But it always comes, right at the time when I got a lot of stuff I want to be doing. And then I got to be concerned with that stuff going on. Yeah, I got a chicken in the back. No, it's a cat on the roof. That gray one. Yeah, go away. But we'll call it quits. I think I covered everything. I've never tried that before. Making notes. But every time I do this stuff, then I always come, I should have talked about this, should have talked about that. So I made a list, but I made this list about 10 minutes ago, so God only knows what it is. I'm sure as soon as I put this up, I'll think, there was something else I forgot to mention. There's always more. Just an endless amount of nonsense that goes on. But I don't particularly like to talk about it. The good thing that I see happening is, though, a lot of the stuff I feel compelled to talk about, uh, other people are talking about now. They're not afraid to bring this stuff up so much. And hopefully, if Twitter is controlling themselves, and actually trying to keep some honesty in the thing, maybe, it'll be better. More truth can come out. It would be nice if YouTube would too, but Google is still all in on this. But maybe, after the midterms, you'll see where the wind is blowing and they can change a little. It would be nice. But like I say, on the COVID stuff, they're backing off some. But there's still a lot of stuff that you're not supposed to talk about. Like even on this origins of COVID. Oh, that was the guy I was going to talk about too. Jeffrey. Damn, can't remember his last name now. Should have wrote it down. But Tulsi has her show, the Tulsi Gabbard show on YouTube. And she had this Jeffrey, whatever his name is, on. And that was very interesting. And also, he was on the Gray Zone the one time. And there he was talking about the origins of COVID because he was actually on this committee for Lancet looking into this. Very interesting. He's pretty much a straight shooter. But he was on Tulsi, he was talking about this Ukrainian thing because there he was on the ground there while this was going on. He was trying to help straighten out the Ukrainian economy at the time. So he was there and he saw all this stuff that went on. So it's interesting to take, look at his view of this. Interesting guy, sharp guy, hated by the left.